Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Steve Murray. I'm one of the principals here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. We are going to have Dave Pimper aboard this morning. We're going to talk about Social Security claiming a little bit this morning. We'll talk a little bit about some of the ins and outs of Social Security claiming. We'll talk a little about how we've used seminars to grow that business, and we'll talk specifically about some of the ins and outs of the financials of that, and what the best processes are to have the highest level of success there. So as we get started here, a couple things that I mentioned to you. We'll have some questions or some polls that will pop up. Go ahead and answer those yes or no as quickly as possible. Making no commitments, but that helps us keep things moving along. It gives us a read on what is of interest to you, so we appreciate that. Also, if you have any questions, I want you to type them in and we'll try and get them asked and answered as quickly as possible. So let's go ahead and get started here this morning. I'm going to whip through a couple of things, kind of what I call IAMS commercial a little bit this morning. So a couple things that you need to be aware of. We got some great programs here that you can use to help grow your business and grow your pocketbook a little bit. One of them is called the Referred Producer Program. Really simple program. When you refer someone to us, he gets contracted to us, we send you out a check for $50. That's great. Really, money comes when that individual, your referral, begins to do business. We pay a bonus to you. That does not come out of his pocket. He gets all of the benefits that he normally would. Everything that's available to you is available to he or she. It's just that we take some of what we would normally put in our advertising budget and put that into your pocket. So it can add up to some pretty good dollars. You can see before you on the screen, those are some of the biggest checks we send out. Some of the other big checks that we send out are for marketing reimbursement. It's a simple program. When you do business, money goes into your marketing reimbursement account. When you do marketing initiatives, then we match your spend dollar for dollar out of that account. And if you have any questions on that or what your account balance might be, go ahead and give your sales director a call or anyone here at the office a call. We can track that down for you. I want to make sure that those of you that are new to us know about the new producer builders. These are very simple programs that we have that are designed to help encourage you to do business with us during that first 6 months of being employed with IAMS. So you can see before you on the screen some of the things you can choose from there and at the levels at which you can choose them. The basic design is to help you grow business. You can see that we also have some cash award stuff that you can choose from and some things that I would consider like more strictly incentives, like a Ritz-Carlton getaway or whatever. But most of the prizes or most of the awards are designed to help you grow your business and help you get to the next level. So hope you'll take advantage of the new producer builder. It's a great way to get some extra rewards when you get started with IAMS. Back office support is really good here. Our competitors would tell you that's better than almost anyone out there. That's really service and making sure that your business is assisted from the moment of conception all the way to commission is really important to us because we know it's really important to you. So any help that you need from case design and business development all the way through to, hey, I submitted the app and now I need to get paid, and the commission process, we're not done here helping you support that business until we know the date at which the commission is going to end up in your account. So, and we guide that all the way through. You're going to find we're pretty robust there. One of the things that we do, we just put this in place. We have Firelight on our system now. What that means is that you can go to our website and do e-apps for most of the carriers you want to do business with. So it makes it a lot easier to do an e-app. It helps you to have all their information in the system. So if you want to do a second app on the same client, you already have that in there. Say do an app with F&G, and then you turn around and you want to do an app on that same client with American Equity. That information is already in the system, and it goes back and forth. It makes it really easy for you to do that. And if you've ever done e-apps, you know that it really helps you make sure you have the right forms, most updated forms, and it's a pretty easy process now. Now you do have to go in and register on our website to do e-apps. Pretty simple process to do that as well, but I would encourage that highly. I think over the next 4 or 5 years, companies probably will not accept apps that are not e-apps. I think that's probably a coming thing. So might as well get on board quickly and get all your client information and make your life easier during the transition. Here are the companies right now that do e-applications. I know that's a pretty good list, but it actually isn't a complete list. That's changing and expanding every day, but that'll give you a pretty good idea of the companies right now available. I want to make sure that you're aware of our advertising department and what we do help you to grow your business. It really is, I consider that your personal advertising department. So the advantage of using our team as opposed to maybe going out and get some of that done in kind of the open market is, of course, we know your business, we know it works, we know what's worked for other folks. We have pretty people that have worked in the business and understand your business and can help you put together designs and things that will help you. We can get some great pieces that we already have developed, personalized for you with your logo. We do things as simple as your logo. We can help you get your Facebook up and running. We can help you with the website. A lot of those services are free. The ones that aren't free, you can use marketing reimbursement. Everything is, of course, at the most efficient price that we can avail to you, because we know the same thing that you know, is that it's going to help grow your business. And if your business is growing, then our business is growing. So we're going to do everything we can to make that work for you, including doing some work pro bono, doing some work at the cheapest price possible, and helping you find all the right systems and all the right design and oops, sorry, it looks like we lost audio there for a second. Hopefully you all can hear me just fine now. All the right design and assistance with building your brand locally. That's really what we're trying to do with that team, and they do a great job of it. Hope you take advantage of them. We got a great website, and I mentioned already Firelight. We also have our term quoter on there. We've got a support, we call it the IAMS Sales Library, which many of you have not accessed, and you should. There's a lot of information out there that you can use for all levels of your business, for referral generation, all the basic documents that you might need to do business. Everything that you can imagine and more is out there. You might, and that's it. If you go to our website, go under support, go into the IAMS Sales Library, you're going to find a whole bunch of information that I know you'll find useful and beneficial to your business. Got a long-term care product grid, the annuity grid, all the current information out there on annuities. Rate changes are rapid right now with the change in the markets. The 10-year treasury is down historical lows, and that's going to affect rates. It's affecting rates right now, and you need to keep up with that. All that is available quite easily on our website. What I always tell folks is that if you haven't spent much time on a website, call up your sales director and say, hey, this is what I do, and this is how I do it. What is on your website might help me. Let them spend 10 or 15 minutes with you to walk through the website and how it can help your business. You'll be pleased that you did. Retirement Analyzer, I'd like to advertise this because it really is a nice benefit of doing business with IAMS. We take care of the cost of this for folks that are doing business with us. It's a great tool. They've recently kind of developed a short form question system so that you can go in and ask your client about 8 or 9 questions and get a pretty good basic proposal for them. And it's very graphic, as you can see before you, answers a lot of the questions that your clients are concerned about, including incorporating Social Security benefits and things like that. So if you haven't looked at the Retirement Analyzer, take some time, give Marcus a call here in our office, 800-255-5055, and say, hey, Marcus, set me up. Let me have a look at it. Show me the basics of it, if you would. Show me that little 9-question deal and how that works. There's a lot of different things that you can help your clients with using Retirement Analyzer. We just encourage you to take advantage of it. And like I said, we take care of that cost for folks that are doing business with us. And even if you're just getting started with us, haven't begun to do business, but you want to have a look at it, we'll make that available to you as well at our expense. IAMS Wealth Management, great team we've got over there. If you're looking around for potential to maybe get into the managed funds business, I would encourage you to give the team at IAMS Wealth Management a call. You can kind of see what they think they can help you do in terms of increasing your revenue and getting you greater client retention and building your client relationships, kind of strengthening that. It's great stuff, really. Here's what I would tell you. If you have interest in getting Series 65 and you need some help, they're great at that. We've done that. Most of our growth has been organic, so we've helped a lot of people through that process of testing. If you're with an RIA and maybe aren't happy with the service, then you're going to really love IAMS Wealth. They work us on a similar sales or service model to the IAMS team, so they're going to pick up the phone, answer your questions. They know you need help with all the processes. We're not, here you go, good luck. Hey, let us help you through each step of the way. Maybe you haven't been happy with your RIA because you think the fees are too high. Most guys that I talk to, the feedback is really good. For the fees, you get a website, you get a database system, you get your E&O, all the assistance that you need, everything and plus all the normal things that you would expect. Most guys don't get that, and certainly not at the fee price that we offer at IAMS Wealth. If, for instance, your payout you think is not right. So here's one thing that surprised. Our payout is just a little over 1%, but we don't have a fee structure or a grid structure that goes with it. So our advisors get 1% or just a little over 1%. They don't get 70% or 60% or 80% or 90% of that 1%. They get the entire fee. Most guys are surprised and amazed by that as well. So if any of those meets your, might be of areas of interest to you, I would encourage you to take a second and put yes on this poll. If you have no interest at all, by all means, please put no on there and just let us know that as well. So if you're looking to maybe get a better fee arrangement, if you're looking to get better service, if you're looking to get better bang for your fee dollar, if you're looking to get a little bit better payout, certainly would be worth a phone call with the team over there, whether it's Sarah or Charles or Mike or Joe. Just chat with one and say, hey, this is my situation. This is what I need a little help. What can you do for me? It's probably worth 10 minutes of your day. We've got a little, as you know, change. NAIC has just approved a new best interest type of model, Reg BI type of model. And so that's going to affect, again, not quite the same way that the DOL initiative a couple of years ago could have affected our business, but certainly going to have some effect on your business. So you might want to revisit, hey, is AUM right for me right now? Do I want to maybe add that to part of my business? Every one of our guys that I've talked to that has decided to get their 65 has been enormously amazed by how many doors that's opened up to them with their clients to get not only assets under management, but also potentially more of their insurance, whether it's annuities or life insurance business as well. So if that's of interest to you, great. If it's not, and I do appreciate y'all voting so quickly, I'm going to go ahead and close that poll out. If you're unable to vote and you want to chat with me about it, give me a call at the office. That's 800-255-5055. And I'll be glad to walk you through that, or I can put you right in touch with the folks over at IAMS Wealth. They'll be glad to help you as well. And thank you all for your quick voting. I appreciate that very much. Keep moving along here. There we go. Sorry. So we have 2-day trainings that we do. It's really, you're going to be out of your office for 3 days. We're going to take care of the cost. So we'll take care of your flight. We'll take care of your hotel, meals and libations while you're there. Great opportunity to get together with 40 of your cohorts in the business, colleagues that do exactly what you do, and learn some of the sales and marketing processes and initiatives and systems that have been very, very effective. We'll talk a little bit about product. We'll talk a little bit about, some of the things maybe from a more global perspective that are affecting our industry, but really great information for you if you're interested in taking some time out. We're going to hear from 4 top producers. We'll hear from some folks that are maybe tuned into the industry on a little bit different basis. They can kind of say, hey, these are some of the things that are coming at us. But what you're going to hear mostly is a lot of sales and marketing stuff that can help you grow your business, whether it's seminar, whether it's our Social Security claiming information, whether it's a particular product fit that works really well for some of our producers. But you're going to hear that from 4 producers just like yourself that have been very successful. You will hear from some folks at carrier level that will talk a little bit about product. We'll talk a little bit about product as well. I would say it's probably about 20%, 25% product, and the rest is sales and marketing and things to help you grow your business. So we'll bring you in on a Wednesday. We'll send you out on a Thursday. If you have some, or on a Friday afternoon, if you have some interest in joining us and you want to look more closely at an agenda, hit yes on that poll. If you want to register so that we can consider you for one of the upcoming 3 or 4 that we have yet this year, hit yes on that poll and we'll send you out a form to do that. You'll get actually both. You'll get an agenda in that registration form. Take a peek at them. If it's something you want to do, send us in the registration form, and that way, whenever we have one coming up, we'll say, hey, Joe, Tom, Jill, here's the time, here's the date. If something is of interest to you, let us know and we'll get you set up for that. We'll get your travel set up and all that. I do get the question quite often if, where are they? So they vary a little bit. A lot of them are here in the Midwest. We'll do one in Omaha, one in Des Moines, but there are other locations as well. So let us know if you have some interest and we'll go ahead and get you up and running on that. So I'm going to close that poll out. Thank you again for your quick response on that. We appreciate that very much. I'm going to go ahead and close that poll out. Keep moving right along. I want you all to know a little bit about this. So we do, in conjunction with the theme, we've done a trip for the last 4 or 5 years. That trip is only available to folks that do Athene business through IAMS because we co-sponsor that trip. We're going to go down to a place called the Bontage at Los Cabos. That's the nicest place in Cabo for sure. Really nice location, nice setup, beautiful rooms, beautiful service, just a beautiful area down there. We'd love to have you join us. We've got plenty of time to qualify. The event is going to be 26th to the 29th at the Montage. We'd love to have you down there. You've got until the end of June to qualify. It takes about $3 million of Athene premium to qualify for that event. We've got a lot of people well on their way to qualifying, but there's still plenty of time for you to join us. I want you to keep in mind too that any premium that is going to qualify you for that event is also going to qualify you for our normal IAMS Marketing Summit. The qualification for that one continues through the end of 2020 and will go in early 2021. And you're kind of getting double, you're going to get double bang for your buck on your Athene business, because that will count towards both trips. It takes 3.5 million of annuity premium to qualify for that. So you can see that if you qualify for the event in Cabo, you're just, about 80%, 85% of the way in qualifying for you and your guests to join us at the Secrets of Puerto Vallarta. If you've been to some of those all-inclusive resorts, you know that the Secrets are some of the best ones. They really do a great job, really high-end and great location there at Puerto Vallarta. So we'd love to have you join us for that. For those of you that are thinking that 3.5 million is an easy stretch, we also have a tag trip for you to join us at Punta Mita, which is in that general area. We're going to go to a Four Seasons there. Great location, beautiful property in a beautiful area of Mexico at the Punta Mita. And that qualification is going to be 6.5 million to be considered. 8.5 million will be immediate qualification, and that will follow right after our time at the Secrets of Puerto Vallarta. We'll go there for another 3 full days to the Four Seasons at Punta Mita. So we'd really love to have you join us there as well. Okay, well, here we go. We're going to talk with Mr. Pimper shortly. Dave, are you with us?
I certainly am. How are you doing?
Very well. I know I had to rush through that, but I wanted to get everybody into the heart of the matter here and let you take over. So for those of you that don't know Dave and what he's done for IAMS, Dave has done a lot of sales coaching with us, probably for about the last 12, going on 13 years, done a great job, had a great positive effect on a lot of producers around seminars in general, done some radio, just done some practice management coaching for our guys as well, all with great effects. We're big believers in coaching in general, and we know that Dave is one of the best because not only is he a great coach, but he also is a producer. Production is 80% of, probably 90% of what he does to make the wheels turn at his office. So he's living just the exact same way that you are, and that helps. He's as he always says, I'm eating my own cooking, and he's eating pretty well. So Dave, why don't you walk them through a little bit, all the ins and outs of the best ways to help clients through the Social Security claiming maze, and how to meet more clients using Social Security seminars to grow your business.
You know, Steve, when you say that I eat my own cooking and I'm doing pretty well, you can tell it from my waistline. Hey, good morning or afternoon to everybody that's on the workshop. I appreciate you being on for the webinar today. We're going to go in and talk about Social Security, and this is a hot subject, and we've got a hot program, which is really fun. I've coached with IAMS for over 15 years. I've been in the business since 1981. Fixed index certainly is where I usually put my guaranteed money in, but Social Security is a very easy way to go in and to help people finding the best time to maximize, but then in the same breath to go in and find that we're investment monies that are available that you can put into fixed index or fixed or securities products for that matter if you're licensed. Just to let you know, Steve mentioned this, but I'm not one of those coaches that I used to be in production. Maybe I didn't have much success there, and now I'm trying to tell people of how to be great in marketing. I mean, if you can see my calendar next week, there's a lot. I mean, I have a ton of client appointments, and I do have a lot of coaching appointments also. After we're done today, there'll be. It's up to you, but you can mark yes or no if you'd like to go in and see if this is something that could fit your needs. But one of the beautiful things is pricing wise for a seminar at $2,500 is extremely inexpensive, but guaranteeing 25 buying units is really even fairly more amazing. So let's do this. If you have any questions whatsoever, certainly go in and type them on in, and we'll be more than happy to to answer those. What's interesting here is, and again, we've got a new seminar that we've updated, and I don't know. I'll see here if this is actually the entire seminar or whether this is not my actual seminar, but seminar for the webinar. But I talk about the next best thing of being wise oneself is to live in a circle of those who are. And then I say tonight I am that circle of who is. I read a disclosure, and so here's what happens is, so just to let you know, I've presented 509 public workshops, since the early 80s, and that's a lot. It's about 15 to 20 a year, every single year. But the seminars have changed some. I mean, like using Facebook marketing now instead of hard-mailed marketing saves on cost, and it certainly has more flexibility. The Secure Act is something that is brand new, and I'm not going to go through everything, but there's 29 new provisions, and the goal was to strengthen. It's the first time, really, in the last longer than a decade, for 13 years ago, that they've been sweeping changes in the Secure Act. But the IRA, and I'm not going to go through all of this, but the IRA went from 70.5 to 72 for RMDs. You can contribute after the age of 70.5 or 72, as long as you still have working income. The beneficiary, the inherited IRA, talks about replacing pension income, with annuity, lifetime income, and where little companies like myself, small companies like us, can offer 401ks because they're groups now. So that's what we're talking here about, the annuity slide. So this presentation, though I wouldn't have this many slides today, I'm going to go through a lot of those extremely quickly. You're seeing the actual presentation slide to slide. I normally have about half the slides, but I told my creative guy at IAMS, our creative guy, Sean, he just says, do you want this as your webinar? And I said, yes. I thought he's going to put the other slides in, but no big deal. But I always say there's questions and concerns. That's why you hear. I go a stroll down memory lane of Social Security. And I am going to take a little more time here so you know this. So Social Security was enacted in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. First check was a little over $22, was to Ida Mae Fuller. There was only one age you could take your money. You couldn't take it early. You couldn't take it late. You took it at 65. The interesting thing was longevity back then. When the average person died, American, in 1935, was age 62. How about them apples? In 61, they lowered the retirement age. If you took it earlier, as early as 62, you took it now, but it was lowered. And then shortly after that, they increased the age to 70. If you waited longer than full retirement age, it would increase each year. And of course, you have to take by 70. In 75, there's automatic cost of living or inflation added. There's only been 3 years. Since 1975, there hasn't been inflation, 2010, 11, and 2016. I normally ask, is Social Security taxed? Well, you know what? It depends if it's taxed. It depends. If you don't make much money, it is taxed. If you make more money, then it is not taxed if you don't make much. If you make more money, it is taxed. So in 1983, remember this, the last year that the Social Security ran a deficit, even though a lot of people believe the fake news, it was 1982. That's the last year Social Security ran a deficit. Reagan shook hands with Tip O'Neill, the Democrat across the House. And so what happens here is that 50% of it's taxed if you're above a certain tax rate. So if you're married filing jointly and you're above $32,000, between $32,000 and $44,000, 50% of your Social Security is taxed. Then in 93, Clinton said, well, 50% of taxation of Social Security is good. How about 85%? If you make over $44,000, then 85% is taxed. And that's retro from $1. And then the Bipartisan Budget Act did away with file and suspend, but in 6 months, but it did keep restricted application. If you're born January the 2nd of 1954 or earlier, you could still restrict your application. Now, again, I talk about 68.5 million people take Social Security. 5.5 million took it last year. Average benefit's about $1,500 or $18,000 a year. Social Security is very important. Nearly 60% of all retirees says it's a major part of their income. I'm going through faster with you, and I want to talk about the benefits. I want to talk about individual benefit, divorce benefit, spousal benefit, restricted application, survivor benefit. Those are very important. I'll take a little more time there. Don't you love this? Like money going down a drain. This came from Janet Herron in the USA Today. Doing this one thing with your Social Security can mean losing $100,000 in retirement. $100,000 in retirement. So the bullet points, word for word from the excerpt. How much does Social Security claiming at the wrong time cost you? Retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime. Why? Because they took Social Security at the wrong time. Bullet point number 4. Overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. The best age depends on a host of factors, and this is what the Social Security Administration cannot ask you, including your life expectancy, other income sources, future cost in retirement, and if you're married or still working. They can't give you advice or ask you personal questions. That's what I do. That's why so many people sign up yes for the consultation at the end. Time out. I say that quite a few times to get them to sign up at the end. Yeah, that's a real strong piece. Didn't see many articles like this, how to maximize Social Security, that comes out of Wall Street Journal 10, 15 years ago. Social Security 101, yeah. Full retirement age. If you're born 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. If you're born in, like I am, I'm born, I had a birthday next month, I'll be 65. I was born in 1955. Mine is 1 year after 54. It's 66 years and 2 months. Then each year it goes up 2 months. And then 1960 or later, if you're born, then your full retirement age is 67. So that's why your full retirement age is 66 to 67. Simple fact. You get your full amount at that age, at your full retirement age. If you take earlier, you get it now, but it's reduced for the rest of your life. If you wait later, it's increased for the rest of your life. That's Social Security in simplistic form 101. I say Social Security can have a huge value, but in parentheses I say, but claiming at your right time. It has a huge value not claiming at the right time, it's at your, because your time is different than everybody else's. It's like a snowflake. COLA's cost of living, this year it's 1.6%. Last year it was 2.8%. 2 years ago it was 2%. Yeah. Last 10 years, averaged a little over 2. Last 50 years, since 75, it's averaged nearly 3.5%. We're in a low, very low interest rate environment. As you know right now, the Treasury 10 years under 1%, which is the lowest on record in 230 years. But COLAs, if you get a $2,000 benefit with a 2.8% cost of COLA, in 10 years your benefit is raised to $2,600. In 20 years to $3,500. In 30 years to $4,600. COLAs are so important. How about if you take a total amount? Yeah. In 10 years, $300,000. In 20 years, $250,000. In 30 years, you would have received from Social Security just on your benefit almost $1.2 million for one person. Social Security is trying to educate people and encourage people to go online and get their statement. It's firewalled off some security questions, and it's important to go online once a year, not just to get your benefit, but to make sure that they credited the right amount of salary or W-2 income to your Social Security benefit. If you go online, you will not get a hard copy. If you don't go online, you get a hard copy once you're age of 60 or over. I have 5 Social Security myths. Social Security is going broke. I mean, my dad told me, Dave, you better save, you better invest, because Social Security will never be there when you retire. Well, guess what? I'll be 65 next month. I mean, I'm going to work for a long, long time, not going to retire. It's never missed a payment. Social Security hasn't. There's $2.9 trillion in the trust fund. If I asked you right now, did Social Security run a deficit or a surplus last year, what would you say? Most people say a deficit. You know what? You're wrong. It ran a surplus. It ran a surplus of $3 billion. Now, that's not much off of $1 trillion of revenue. But look at the balance of the trust fund on 12/31/17, the last time the trustees went in and valued it. Almost $2.9 trillion. Incredible. Now, we probably will run a deficit in 2019. We'll for sure run a deficit this year, 2020. And then you have all the baby boomers collecting their benefit, the big benefits, the biggest benefits ever. No doubt this money will run out somewhere between 2033 and 2035. So we have between 13 and 15 years left before the trust fund goes bankrupt. So then I tell people, so if the trust fund goes bankrupt and you're making a $2,000 benefit, how much would you get after the trust fund goes bankrupt? Well, a lot of people say nothing because it is bankrupt. Well, the trust fund is bankrupt. Remember, it's a pay-as-you-go system. We pay 6.2% in payroll taxes, matched by the employer 6.2%, so 12.4%. If you're self-employed like I am and many people on the webinar with us today, yeah, what happens is that we pay both ends of it, 6.2, 6.2, 12.4. I used to think that was unfair, but I understand why now. And Social Security is such a great benefit for what you put in and what you get out. It's pretty wild. There's all kinds of different ways to shore up Social Security, and there is going to be some major changes in the next at least couple years. One of them that's really catching on is means testing. I don't know why, but it just means testing is just redistribution of wealth. People who make X amount of money or more in retirement, they would give up part of their Social Security to someone who does not make as much in retirement. And believe it or not, it starts at $50,000. So if you make more than $50,000 of adjusted gross income in retirement, you'd start giving up part of your Social Security benefit that you worked your whole life for and put in for, and give it to someone who hasn't done as well. Yeah. I mean, I think the easiest thing to do is probably what's going to happen is the Democrats are much more into taxation of the benefit. Republicans are probably more into raising the full retirement age. I think there'll be a compromise of something between the two. But if it was strictly to me, no, I'd take full retirement age and I'd raise it from 67 to 70. You know, full retirement age was 65 back in 1935. So, you know, and people lived at 30 to 62. Now people live to late 70s, early 80s on an average. I guarantee you, my son, who I just talked to about 20 minutes ago, Sam Pimper, news reporter out of an Omaha suburb, Bellevue, where Sac Air Force Base is. If I asked him this weekend, hey, Sam, they're going to raise your full retirement age from 67 to 70. He would tell me, who cares, Dad? Give me another beer. And I say that in the workshop. People laugh a little bit. I'm not a humorist or a jokester, comedian, but I do kind of bring up light things. I believe in when people are laughing with you, there's a better chance that they'll go in and sign up with you for an appointment. Tons of acronyms with Social Security. Tons. You know, there's also 2,700 rules in Social Security. Do I know them all? No. Do I know almost all of the important ones? Yes, I do. I have an expertise in Social Security. Only 12% of advisors do, and less than 2% of the John Q. public does. That's why you can be the expert. And if you do a Social Security workshop, you get 3 coaching sessions with me. They're 45 minutes each. They're paid for by IAMS. You don't pay anything on that. I'm not in your hierarchy. IAMS knows that through coaching, people are much more apt to learn and be successful. Yeah, I mean you can just be the expert. If you have any questions, you can certainly call me. Not just during the coaching, but once you work with me, as long as you are contracted through IAMS and doing business, you absolutely can use me. I say use me, don't abuse me, but anytime you want to. Yeah, Social Security Facts. It's a pay-as-you-go system. It is. Yeah, if the government went bankrupt, the Social Security Trust Fund went bankrupt right now, no money, that 2.9 vanishes in 2035, you'd still get about 80% of your benefits. So on $2,000, you're still going to get $1,600 coming in. It would be reduced, and it's not a Ponzi scheme. Now, the government does borrow against, the government buys bonds, special issue purpose bonds with this money. And then the government goes in and they borrow against those bonds and put IOUs there. So there isn't gold or silver that backs those bonds. I mean, it's the full faith and credit of the government. The same that backs the full faith and credit of the dollar bill. And why I bring that up, I always say in my workshops, so when I go in and pay my gas, I want to pay $40 in cash, 220s, and they say, sorry, Mr. Pimper, but your money's no good here. We don't accept cash because it's just not, because it doesn't have a backing. I will be concerned about my Social Security check. But until that happens, I don't care. I really don't. It's earnings over your working career, 35 years of earnings. If you have 34 years, you get a 0 in that year. You need 40 quarterly credits, or basically 10 years of work. The credits this year are $1,410, okay? So you need $5,640 to get 4 quarterly credits. If you make $5,640, you've got a Social Security benefit of 4 credits this year, okay? Any questions? Just please type them on in, and we'll be more than happy there to go in and to answer those for you. Now, I do love this. I love that dog. A long-haired dachshund with a cake on his first birthday with a birthday cap on and bib. Bow tie. That's a bone. Maybe it's a bone tie. Okay. Full retirement age, 43 to 54, age 66. Steps up 2 months per year. I'm born in April of 55. I'm 66 years and 2 months. If I was born in April of 56, 4 months. 1960 and later, 67. A newborn born today, yeah. The birth date is full retirement age is going to be 67. If you take before your full retirement age, it's reduced. If your full retirement age is 66, you take it 62, it's a 25% reduction. Then it ratchets on up till in 4 years it's at the 100%. Okay? Let's say that you go in and let it delay after full retirement age. It's called a delayed retirement credit. The first one, before full retirement age, is called an actuarial reduction. Afterwards, it's called a delayed retirement credit. You're guaranteed 8%, and all of those have COLAs on them. Everything does. Every benefit, whether you take it or not, every benefit has COLA, whether it's disability, survivor benefit, divorce benefit, child benefit, yeah. But get a load of this. If you wait 1 year from 66 to 67, at your full retirement age of 66, your benefit is guaranteed by the U.S. government to grow in 2 ways. One is by the delayed retirement credit, 8%, and then it's guaranteed to grow COLA, if there is a COLA. There's only been 3 times, 2010, 11, and 16, there hasn't been a COLA since 1975. The chance of a COLA is very, very high. So this year, COLA is 1.6%. So you're guaranteed 9.6% to let it grow 1 year. So if you have a $2,500 benefit, and basically it grows 10%, it grows $250 the first year. The COLA is the same the next year, $250. In 2 years, you could grow your benefit $500 for the rest of your life. It's like a mini pension every single year. Get a load of this. 34% of everybody claims the earliest they can at 62. 80% of the people claim by age of full retirement age. 2% of the people wait till 70. What's Dave Pimper doing? My hand's up. You can't see it. Yeah, I'm waiting to 70. Now that isn't for everybody. Now, my wife, we took it 62 because it was the best. It was the most money for us to take early. But it's unique for everybody. Okay. If you got a question, type them on in. We'll answer it here at the end. We got about 15 more minutes on this presentation, and then we'll answer questions. Social Security spousal benefits. My wife didn't like this. Her name is Amy. She didn't like it because of the survivor benefit when I die. She goes, I only like to talk about that. Well, you know what? No one gets out alive, do they? Dave's PIA. What's PIA stand for? My primary insurance amount. That's the amount at FRA, full retirement age. PIA, primary insurance amount. Dave's PIA, primary insurance amount for Social Security is $2,400. Amy's PIA, primary insurance amount is $1,000. Dave takes his, Amy takes hers. Here's how it works. The higher benefit, which is Dave, it's gender neutral because so it could be Amy. It just happens to be Dave in this example. Is $2,400. I get $2,400. Amy's PIA is $1,000. She can take all of her $1,000 or half of Dave's $2,400. What's worth more money, $1,000 or half of $2,400, which is $1,200? $1,200's worth more. Amy goes in and jumps up and takes that $200 of the spousal benefit. She gets $1,000 of hers and $200 of mine. What happens if Amy never worked? She's an at-home mom, volunteer, married to a wealthier guy. Yeah, she never worked. Dave files for his, Amy files for hers. Dave gets $2,400, Amy files for hers. How much can she get? Zero. She doesn't have her quarterly credits in. But she can go get half of mine. So she takes half of mine, $1,200. So whether her benefit's $1,000, her benefit's $1,100, her benefit's $1,200, her benefit's zero, in that scenario, as long as Dave collects his, she can go in and she can take half of his. How about if Dave wants to wait till 70, but Amy wants to take it 66? Amy can't take half a Dave's until Dave takes his. So she has to take 1,000, age 66, 67, 68, 69. But once Dave takes his at 2,000, now she gets a $200 top up. But it's not until 70. And that $200 top up will be discounted. It'll be discounted 25% because she went in and took, well, actually on a spousal benefit, she took her own but on the spousal benefit, the deduction is 30%. So she has a deduction though of that spousal benefit. You can only get half if that person takes their half. How about divorced spouse? Tons of divorced spousees that could use it to their advantage, do not take advantage of it because they don't know about it. Here's a triple play, I call it. Here's a triple play. You're married for 10 years or longer. You're currently unmarried. Your ex is at least 62 years of age. If those three things, all those moons and stars line up, you can claim your ex just as if you're still married to them. They don't have to know about it. All you need when you go down to the Social Security office, you need your marriage certificate, a copy of your divorce decree, and you need your ex's Social Security number. If you have those three things and you meet those first three things, you can act as if you're still married to them for Social Security's eyes, for their benefit. Why is that important? The reason is married couples have many more privileges, benefits, than someone who's single for Social Security, many more options. One of them, and we'll talk about survivor, but let's just say that you've got a survivor divorced benefit. So your ex is dead. Well, you know what? And say your benefit was 1,000 like before, and his was 24. Yeah, you can jump up to his benefit. And even if you took early and it was reduced, as long as you wait till you're after your full retirement age, you can get all of his benefit. Yeah, that's all part of that divorced spouse benefit. So many. I'm telling you what, I just found for a gal, she had left $79,000 on the table on a survivor benefit because she never jumped up to her husband's benefit. How sad is that? Here, let's talk about survivor benefit. Dave and Amy are both full retirement age. Dave's 2,000, Amy's 1,200. I die. And in the workshop, I like using humor, sick humor sometimes, but humor. So I'll say, who dies first, the guy or the gal in a marriage? And they'll say, the guy does. I'll say, you know why? Because he elects to. I think it's funny. Yeah, I die, 2,000. Amy can keep her benefit or she can jump up to mine, jump up to Dave's. What's she going to do? Of course she's going to jump up to Dave's. With a spousal benefit, it's automatic. The spousal benefit, you get it automatically. Everything's on file. Not survivor, not divorced. You have to ask for it. It's not done automatically. You have to ask for it. And it's biblical. If you don't ask for divorce benefits or survivor benefits, you don't get it. Let me tell you another really great story. It isn't quite as outlandish as that $79,000 that this gal lost. But I had a lady come in after a workshop right when I started doing seminars for Social Security about 10 years ago in Fremont, my hometown, 25 miles outside of Omaha. And she said, Mr. Pimper, and I always get a kick when people call me Mr. Pimper when they're a lot older than I am. I was like 55. She was like 73. She goes, you said something in the seminar that really disturbed me. I said, well, what was that? She goes, you said that if one of the spouses dies and that spouse has a higher benefit, that the living spouse can jump up to that higher benefit. And I said, that's exactly right. And just like this, she says, well, I was told you couldn't. I said, well, who told you? She said, my brother. Oh, gosh. So how would you like to be at that Thanksgiving dinner, the next year? Yeah. And I tell people, don't trust your brother's advice on Social Security. I mean, don't trust your I tell you right now, I went and called and all those people were over the age of 60, were very good at what they do. One is retired now, is still a two working, but my banker, my estate planning lawyer, and my CPA, which two of the three are clients of mine. I called them and said, how much do you know about Social Security? Those are sharp dudes. All of them said, not much at all. And then I said, so who do you refer to when the people got questions? They said the Social Security Administration. And the Social Security Administration cannot give you advice. And so I wrote a letter out to all the lawyers, all the CPAs, all the bankers, real estate, everybody. And I said, I have an expertise. Have them call me. I will give them unbiased, information on Social Security. And I get my share. I'm known here as the local expert, and you can too, by giving workshops and learning and getting coached up on Social Security. Anyway, that gal, yeah, she lost out on $500 a month. Her benefit was $1,300. His was $1,800. She never jumped up. That's $500 over 12 months is $6,000 over 5 years is $30,000. She lost $30,000. I got her back actually a retro benefit of $3,000, 6 months worth of benefit, but she lost out net of $27,000, which is shameful. Coordinating spousal benefits, this is complicated. You know what? And I go through much slower in the workshop and much slower when we're coaching. But if you haven't followed the majority of this, you should. You really don't understand Social Security. Then I can tell you right now, we got a boatload of people today on the, on our webinar. But that's one of the unique things about IAMS, the FMO. I don't work for them. I mean, I'm only about 20 minutes away from their home office in Nebraska, and I've coached with them for over 14 years. But I'll tell you this: when you go to one of their annuity academies, there's a little bit of product, teaching, but there's a ton on how to get in front of more qualified appointments. I mean, there's seminars. I'm going to set someone up today it's up in Long Island in New York with Retirement Boss Radio. So, I mean, we got a rate being your own radio host. There's a lot of things that IAMS does, and it isn't just say, hey, here's the blueprint, go do it, or go mentor somebody and go do it. I mean, most people, they mentor Tiger Woods. They can't play like Tiger Woods, but we coach, and I coach people step by step by step, and they can call me anytime they want to, and I can walk through with what they're doing and hopefully help them. And that's what's so much different of what a coach than just what a straight mentor is. The Bipartisan Budget Act, when file and suspend got phased out 6 months back in 2015, a lot of people that were giving Social Security workshops, which I'm happy about, said they're done. All the sizzle's gone. But you know what? People don't know the basic things. I'm coaching with a guy. I will coach him next week. He just signed up yesterday for the seminars. But I normally ask, what do you know for Social Security claiming from 0 to 10? And the guy said a 6.5. And I said, oh, and then I mean, that's a lot more than the average advisor knows, so that's good. So I said, I'm going to do a 6.5 of knowing a 6.5 quiz. He's a real good sport, So I said, so how many years does it take to find out of what your Social Security benefit, how many working years do they count? And he said 10. Well, he got mixed up the 10 quarterly credits. Or he said 40. He mixed up the 40 quarterly credits. And I said, no, it's 35 years. So I lowered him from knowing 6.5 to 6. And then the next two questions I asked him, he knew both of those. So he certainly did know more than the average person, and that helps. But, I have people who know absolutely nothing, and we get them coached up. There's some work involved in it, maybe 5-6 hours a week for 4 or 5 weeks. But I'll tell you, knowing Social Security, I can't tell you how much it's changed my business as far as amount of money that I'm able to work with. So you got to be born before January the 2nd of 1954 to be able to restrict your application. Okay? So here's how it works. Dave and Amy, in this hypothetical illustration, is both 66 years old or full retirement age. Dave's PIA is 2,400. Amy's is 1,000. Now, Amy wants to take hers. She gets 1,000. If Dave takes his, she can get a bump up of $200. But Dave is not taking his. He's going to wait to 70. So normally she doesn't have the availability for that $200 top up each month. But that is if you go and take the money. That's would be file and suspend. But on restricted application, you can go take a benefit. So if Dave restricts his application to Amy's benefit, now the spousal benefit is what? Half of Amy's. So he starts his, stops his, and I Social Security started, enables him a spousal benefit. He lets his grow, the guaranteed 8% a year, can do it as long as he wants, but all the way up to 70 if he wants. In the meantime, he can take half of Amy's $1,000, which is $500 as a spousal benefit. That $500 is free money, and hardly anybody asks for it because they don't know about restricted application. So that's $500 a month, 12 months, $6,000. If you do it over 4 years, $24,000, free money. And then when Dave turns 70, now Amy gets a top up of $200. That's all done through restricted application. Get a load of this. I know that's complicated, and I go through it much slower with examples and kind of story problem telling, etc. But only 0.7 of all Americans that could take restricted application do to help them out. How about that? And it's because of lack of knowledge. Social Security myth number 2. If I claim Social Security benefits early and invest the income, I'll come out way ahead. Nope. Not so fast there, Sherlock. Nope. Most people don't invest the proceeds. In the stock market is up and down. It's guaranteed by the U.S. government through Social Security. There's reasons to claim early. You need the income. You're broke. How about you've had a heart attack, you've had a stroke, you got diabetes? I'd take early. And I use this for a little funny wordage, but I say, how about if you're in great shape, but your only 3 brothers have all died of lung cancer, and you happen to be a smoker? Yeah. But being uninformed, and I joke about this too. I did actually say to my broker dealer, being ignorant, and they said that might be too harsh for a seminar. So I say, yeah, being uninformed is the worst. You don't want to wake up down the road and say, if I'd only known that, I would have done it differently for claiming. There is an annual earnings test. It's 18,240. So if you're earlier than full retirement age, not counting the year you turn 66, but if you're earlier than retirement age and you take, after you make $18,240, you'll pay back $1 for every 2. That's just gross earnings to the Social Security. You actually get it back in a stipend once you turn 66 in a lifetime income, but they take it out very quickly and give it back to you very slowly. There's really not much reason to take before your income is under 18,240 or close to it. Okay? Social Security myth number 3, you're going to get the biggest family benefit waiting to claim at 70. My wife took it 62 because for us, that was the best benefit for us. That is wrong. But why delaying could make good sense? Yeah. You basically double your money. If you have a $1,500, if you have a $2,000 benefit and take early, or a $2,000 benefit and you wait to 70, you basically double the amount at a 2.8% cost of living. You basically double your money in those 8 years, and that's pretty darn strong when it's guaranteed by the U.S. government. There are do-overs. That gal that her messed up with her husband, yeah, we got her 6 months. If your full retirement age are over and said, "Oh, I made a mistake," you can normally go back 6 months. How about if you take it 62 and quit working, and then you find a great job at 64 and want to go back to work and stop your Social Security? You would think you could stop it, but you cannot. You have to take it until you're 60 or full retirement age. At full retirement age, now you can stop it. Okay? So there are some do-overs that are available. Social Security myth number 4, since municipal bond income is taxed with Social Security, then it only makes sense that tax-free. Roths will be taxed. Wrong. Tax-free Roths are not taxed in Social Security provisional income. There's ways to eliminate taxation on Social Security by deferred products, i.e. annuities. We don't say that. By using Roth conversions. But remember I said that Social Security is taxed on two different levels, and we talked about this before. Provisional income is how Social Security is taxed. It's adjusted gross income, counting no Social Security, half of your Social Security and all of your muni bond interest. That is how your Social Security is taxed. I do talk some about Roth conversions because I think rates are low now, especially where the standard deduction is right now for a married couple. When you take $24,400, and if you're both over the age of 65 or over, $27,000 of standard deduction before you pay a penny. That's a lot of standard deduction. So it could be time to convert. Social Security myth number 5, Social Security Administration will give you the best advice on how to maximize your benefit. Wrong. They cannot give you advice. They cannot do scenario planning or innovative strategies. They can give your highest benefit right now. This comes right from their hand manual. Number D, provide enough information so that claimants make informed choices, but do not give advice. Can you imagine? In front of my door it says financial advisor. Hey Dave, I want some financial advising advice. Can you do that? Nope. You get a lot of other stuff, but I can't do that. That's what Social Security does with Social Security. People think they give advice, but they can't. I talk about it's not a standalone income stream. It's the most flexible of all income streams. Not claiming at the right time, but at your right time is paramount. Don't forget that there is a survivor benefit. So all the people out there that are figuring break evens, you better figure the survivor benefit also. Wages, pensions, income producing assets like 401ks, IRAs, Roth, cash value, CDs, brokerage accounts, real estate. Number 4, RMDs on the traditional IRAs, RMDs, and Social Security. There's a moneymaker here for us. Which one is it? 3. You find out the asset to work with and get a commitment to work with it there. I do that in the first appointment. Where do I go from here? You got questions. So then I'll say there's so many things: individual benefit, spousal benefit, coordinating benefit. My gosh, Social Security has so many different types of benefits. How about other income sources? You know what? Social Security Administration will not ask you about your other income sources. They will not ask you about your personal health history. They will not ask you about anything like that. We do. So there is a lot to consider for your, not the, but your best claiming strategy decision. I hit that home really hard. Okay? And as we're finishing on up here, make sure, because we're going to answer questions, but my close, I'm talking to now to all of my people on the webinar. My close is really done a little bit by, if you procrastinate, you will lose out. If you procrastinate, you're not going to be as successful as you can. So what I say on this slide, and I go into a little more depth, but I say, folks, look it. I've been around the business for almost 40 years. I don't think I've ever had anybody come to me and say, Dave, you cannot believe how much money I've made from procrastinating. I've gotten rich off procrastinating. In fact, there's a slogan that goes, procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Never comes, does it? Tomorrow never comes. If you heard something today that you think could help you in the future with your Social Security, then you need to take action. And then I'll say, what is Nike Shoe Company's slogan? You know what their slogan is? Just do it. What a great slogan for success for the largest, most profitable shoe company in the world. Just do it. And that's what I ask you today. And then we have an evaluation form that we bring out, and then I close on a very emotional slide with George Foreman. That's kind of funny. That has some humor to it. But if you saw something today that I mean, if you understand all of this, then wonderful. But you still need to get in front of people. All the knowledge in the world doesn't make you money. All the knowledge in the world and getting in front of a whole bunch of people, that makes you rich. That makes you a top producer. That makes you go to every single production trip and never missing one. I'll tell you right now, I want to have a minimum of one new appointment every single day. I average a little more than that. But you're going to get between 10 and probably hopefully 10 and 15 appointments. The nice thing on this is that from the seminar you're guaranteed 25 buying units there. If not, we pay you back. For every buying unit you don't have, we pay you back. You're guaranteed to get the people there. And then what I can do is help you go in and get those appointments. So, Steve, I'm going to turn it over to you as people. Hopefully, a lot of people are marking yes on this because it's of all the seminars that we've done together, and we've had some very good success. I don't think anything has come out of the chute like this one has in the last 4, 5, 6 months when we introduced the Facebook marketing with the guarantee of 25 buying units.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Dave. We haven't had, I mean, the Social Security seminars have always been very successful for us, probably our most successful seminar approach, and I've got a couple of reasons why I think that's true. There's no doubt since we've added in the digital marketing for us, really been just over the top successful. Just had so many folks that have had really good luck. So that's certainly very true. And I think a lot of it has to do with the coaching along the way. I would say that we've worked with a lot of folks that have done Social Security seminars in the past and maybe not had quite as much luck as what they've had with us. And I do attribute that to your coaching. I think a big part of it is conversion. And get the appointments, get more appointments, and then converting more of those appointments to sales. And then when you add on the front end success that we've had with the digital marketing, get people in the rooms relatively inexpensively, it really has produced tremendous results over the last 6 months and really for the last 5 or 6 years since you've been doing it. So It's been a great job. There are a couple questions out here. I had a couple questions about, can this presentation get mailed to the attendees? And we automatically will send you a link to this YouTube video so you can review any part of this that you would like to. There's a couple of questions about our Life and Annuity Academy. So the bottom line answer is yes, we have at least 3 more coming out this year, maybe 4. And yes, we do. Dave is one of our presenters, so he'll go over Social Security claiming at that time. I don't know that I would wait for that. If I were you, I would, if you have interest, spend a few minutes with Dave on the phone sooner rather than later. It's working great now. You all know that these marketing things tend to work for a while, and then they tend to stop working. And you got to be nimble and convert. But this is really working. Digital marketing has really been working very well right now, and it's a great time to take advantage of it. And yes, there are some areas that we couldn't put you in because they're taken, but that's a relatively small area. So if you'll get back with me, Joe, and just let me know what areas specifically you're thinking of, or get back with Dave, hit yes on that poll and chat with Dave. He can also tell you if an area is not available. The 2,500 pricing, that's at least 25. So Dave, I think there was a misunderstanding that it's them 25 buying units. It's at least 25 buying units. Our experience is always more than 25, sometimes quite a few more, and sometimes 28, 29, 30, but a lot of times it's more like 35, 40, 45. We've had a couple situations where we didn't have enough room, which is really an odd problem to have, but not a good problem, actually. If you don't have enough room to seat everybody, that's not good. So we do encourage people to get rooms that will seat at least 35 to 40 people at a pop, or more like 45 to 50 people, because that's buying units. So if you can make sure that your rooms are that big, that's really helpful. You don't want to turn anybody away, obviously, and sometimes having people crammed in there too tight is not a good thing either. So looking at some other questions, Dave, there's a few questions here about what your experience has been on conversion. I don't know if you have a few minutes you can kind of walk over what you see from conversion to appointments and sales.
Yeah, and we'll do this real quick because I know that we're running a little long on the tooth on the webinar. But here's what happens is that our goal is if we can get 40 plus people in, then we'll normally have 25 plus buying units in. That is the goal. That's the guarantee, not the number of people, but the number of buying units. So what happens is if we have, say from that 25, say we have actually 25 buying units. Of those 25 buying units, my goal would be to get half of those in for appointments, which would be 12, 13 people. So if you have 30 people, which we've been averaging, 30 buying units, we might go in and get 15 appointments, but anything over 10 appointments, then I'm pretty darn happy about that. So let's say that we get in, I'm just making this up, say we have 12 appointments. Normally what's going to happen is those 12 appointments, they will go on in, and you will normally average where probably I would say that half of those people will not have interest or will not have money. So 12 goes down to 6 after so you go in, and of those 6 appointments, and you're going to close somewhere between a third to a half of those people you will close. Could be a quarter if the sales process is not very good, but just what happens there is, I have had people before disappointed because they said, "Oh, I had some really bad people. I had some people that had no money at all." Well, that's the way marketing is. Some are better, some are worse. You've got to kind of sift through. It's like panning for gold. You have to go through some gravel before you find the shiny pieces. And the shiny pieces are the people that have money, that are open to let you kind of propose on it and hopefully win them over with a good financial plan or a good financial asset. So I would, and you know what? And before, Steve, I've always had success with Social Security seminars, but I'd probably average $250,000 maybe of money that I would bring in. And now it's much closer to $500,000 of money that is being brought in from Social Security workshops. So between $400,000 and $500,000. So there's been a marked difference. I can't tell you why, but Facebook marketing has been working very, very well. May it run its course? Maybe it is. But I tell you what, we're right at the beginning of a great marketing course right now with Facebook Social Security. And again, I'm going to say this: go shop it around. Go shop around to some of the biggest shops out there that do seminars, and you'll find that $2,500 is probably half the price of anybody else. I actually did call, so I wanted to see of what other people for a guarantee of 25 buying units. We are extremely competitive, extremely.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And one thing that I like about this webinar, you're giving information that is very, very realistic. Sometimes you go to these webinars or hear from, look at magazine ads or see things on the internet. It's like, get 50 people in the room and get appointments of 48
fake
of
news,
them.
Yeah, fake news.
Come on now. There's some fake
news
on this stuff. And I do like the realistic approach because, what I want for our producers, the folks that work with us, is that they know what to expect, and that maybe there might be a little bit of under promise, over delivery. That's really what we want to see happen here. And we've had really good results. Very happy with it. I see that almost all of you are looking to have a little conversation with Dave, which I think makes sense. One thing that, if for those of you that may be still on the fence, you may be thinking, I don't think seminars are for me. One thing I will say about Social Security seminars is, if you have ever considered it at all, seminars, and maybe not necessarily been excited about being in front of a group, this is the easiest way to kind of get you into the mode of being in front of a group. It really is kind of a teacher-student type of relationship. You're not taking questions. The folks are really very attentive. You're going to be, by the time that Dave takes some time with you, going to be very knowledgeable on the subject matter of the seminar, so that you're really comfortable with it. And it's probably the softest ball into the seminar business that you're ever going to have. So if that's something you think, man, that may not be for me, I want to reconsider that part of it if that's a concern for you, because this is an easy way to get in the seminar business, and really you become a source of very, very valuable information to potential clients that are out in the audience. So take that under advisement if you're still kind of on the fence. And maybe what I would say as well, if you're sitting on the fence not sure, I just hit yes. Take 10 minutes to chat with Dave, see how it feels. You're going to get some good information from those conversations. I've never had anybody come away from a conversation with Dave, whether it's about Social Security or anything else, that didn't learn a couple things and didn't get something valuable from Dave just for that time. And really, he's a producer and he just loves dealing with folks like you and the other producers on the line. It really is. We're fortunate to have a great relationship with somebody that works very well with producers in the field. So take advantage of the resources, what I would say about that. But that being said, there's a couple questions that are really specific, Dave, and my hope is that those folks have made a minute to chat with you for a personal phone call. And I know you've got some things going here today, and we have drifted over just a little bit. So I'm going to close that poll out. Thank you all, by the way, for your many positive responses, and we appreciate that a great deal. If there's anything that comes up that we can help you with, I hope you'll call us. Give us a call at the office here at 800-255-5055. We're glad to answer any questions, put you in touch with Dave or whatever that we can do to help you. That's what we're about here at IAMS, is making sure you have the right resources to make things work and making sure that we've got the right products for you. And then, of course, we know that you need incentives and things to help you grow along your business, and so we'd like to make those available as well. So thanks for joining us today on some training on a Friday. Shows a lot of dedication to your business, and we want to work with people like you that are dedicated to the success of their business. So give us a call. Thank you, Dave, for your time as well. As you want to say anything as we finish up?
No, I'm just looking forward to talking to a lot of folks. And hey, thanks for your time. I mean, time out of the field means time out of your pocket. So hopefully this can be an investment in time if I talk to you and we can get some marketing going for you. So have a just great weekend. Hope I can talk to a lot of folks next week.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you all for joining us. Have a great weekend, and looking forward to a great week of business next week as well. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.